Hi everyone, so today I am back at college after winter break, and I was just going to share with you guys a little bit about my phone interview. I had my phone interview yesterday. It was scheduled for 3:30 and she called at 3:38, so she was 8 minutes late. They do tell you to be ready for that 15 minutes before and 15 minutes prior, so I was ready around 3:15 and was okay with it going up until 3:45. So within that window, they can call you whenever during that window. So I just want to share with you guys a little bit about my application process and the questions that my interviewer asked me, and just some tips for you as you are getting up the courage to do your phone interview. So let's get started. My interviewer's name was Jennifer, and she was really nice. She made me feel very comfortable, and that's one thing that I hear a lot about the recruiters on the phone, that they have made everybody feel really, really comfortable when they're on the phone with them. So that is something that I would look forward to and not be worried about, because they will make you feel comfortable, make you feel like you can talk to them, and it's not scary, they're not rude. So that was really great. So my recruiter asked me a few questions, and I'm just going to tell you guys what questions she asked me. So the first question, she kind of went through where I went to school, what my major was, and just kind of verified all that information, and then asked me if I was familiar with the Disney look, which I responded yes, and so she didn't go into detail about that. But if you don't know what that is, then you can just tell her, or whoever you're interviewing, whoever is interviewing you, that you don't understand, and they'll just explain it to you. And then you say, they ask you if you have any piercings or body modifications or tattoos outside of a one-piece bathing suit, and to which you would answer yes or no. And then she started asking me questions that were a little bit more specific. So the first question she asked me was, how would the college program help me in my future? So that, I hear that question a lot, so I would definitely be prepared for that. She also asked me about a stressful time in a job where I was really stressed, and at the end of the day, you kind of look back on it and you're like, wow, that was a really busy day. And she asked me to explain to her a time that that might have happened at a job that I had, and if I thought that I would be able to handle that, if that was something that I was having to do every day. She also asked me if I had any roommate conflicts before, and so I just answered that. And she asked if I had any conflicts with my roommates, and then how we overcame that. So I would also be prepared with that. She went into detail about the convention guide role. She asked me why I put that as a high priority, and I told her that I actually was not very familiar with it, so she explained it to me, and I'll just go ahead and explain it for you so that maybe if you were confused about that, you might know. But she said that basically, as a convention guide, you would be taking guests from one place to another, mainly in Epcot, when they do like illuminations, dessert parties, and that sort of thing, that normal guests don't have the availability to get tickets to. So I'm assuming maybe like if a business had a convention that they had a bunch of people at, or maybe some VIP guests or whatnot, something like that. And you would take them from one location, maybe a private dinner, to another location, maybe the dessert party. So she asked me if I knew my way around Epcot. She asked me if I'd ever seen illuminations, so that sort of thing. She asked me about those things. She also asked me if I was doing something repetitive, how would I make it fun, and how would I make it look like I wasn't worn out and that I'd been there all day. So I would come up with some kind of creative answer for that one. She actually did ask me about my top 3 roles, which I thought that they weren't going to ask about that, because last season when I applied, they didn't ask about my top 3 roles. So I was expecting not to hear about that, but she actually did ask me, and she asked me how I was prepared for that. And when she asked me about how Disney would help me in my future, she also asked me how my current jobs would help me in my future, which I thought was interesting because it doesn't really pertain to Disney, but it was still a question that she asked. She also asked me to tell her about a time where I had to deal with a difficult guest, so I would have an answer for that as well. So that was all the questions, the majority of the questions that I was asked during my phone interview. It lasted about 25 minutes, and I thought it went really well. A lot of people on the Facebook page are saying that they felt like theirs went really well, so that's good. And they said that we should be hearing back by the end of March or early March, but obviously that acceptances, some of them will come before then. So yeah, that's all I really have about my phone interview. I'm just going to share with you a couple of questions that I got from some lists from different blogs and videos on YouTube that I compiled, and it helped me to think through some of the questions so that I was prepared. And then I'll also link those blogs that I use down in the description box below. So go ahead and check those out if you're looking for some practice questions. So some of the other questions that I was prepared for were, what are you most looking forward to? What can you offer the company? How would you handle an emergency? How would you handle a guest who doesn't speak English but clearly needs help? What would you do if someone asked you for a specific room that wasn't available? How would your coworkers describe you in 3 words? What would you do if a child was being rough with a character? If your phone is ringing, you're checking a person out, and there's someone in the shop that needs help, what would you do in what order? There was also a question that was posted on the Facebook page about Bippity Boppity Boutique that I had never heard before, so I thought it was worth mentioning. The interviewer asked her how she would make an experience magical and to walk her through bringing a prince or a princess into the shop, and how would you make it magical for them, and what would you do? So that was interesting. I wasn't really sure how to answer that one. Thankfully I didn't get that question, but I would definitely be prepared for it because obviously people are asking it, so I would be prepared for that. So that is all the questions I have. I would just tell you to smile, be yourself. There's really nothing to be worried about. As soon as you get on the phone, you'll feel comfortable. So good luck, and I hope that everyone who is trying to do the phone interview, that it works out well for you and that you get accepted. And yeah, I'm excited. This is my first vlog for my college program, and hopefully I get in. So I will let you guys know as soon as I hear back. Thanks for watching.